fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kiru's show here. And now, whenever we last left off with this series, Izuku Midoriya, he has gone through a torturous couple of months, and he is approaching the age, well, technically he's 19 and a half, if I have my timeline correct, but he is still missing those 8 months, along with the 9 months he did spend on Sakaar. Now, Midoriya, he broke out with the Hulk and Rogue in the last part, and did join the rebellion against the Red King. Now, Midoriya and Rogue, these two, they did admit that they've been thinking of each other a certain way. And Midoriya kissed Rogue. However, she was still fearful about her mutant power, and she thought that if she got closer with Midoriya, then she would be able to take his abilities, and that she did not want that. However, she didn't, and the two, they did embrace. Now, we do actually have the next morning, where Midoriya, he does crawl out of bed, and he does go to get dressed, as he does just think about what is currently on the agenda. And, well, he does wonder about the Warbound. The Hulk left last night, and then there was something going on with Meek. He's not really too sure. The guy is always so jumpy sometimes. Now, with that Midoriya, he would actually then feel someone run their hand on his back, as he would turn his head and see Rogue, asking her if she's finally awake. Yeah, I am. Tired. I bet. Anyways, it's morning. We have to go. The Red King can't die if we don't get there in time. You know, you suck at paraphrasing. You need to say something like, we need to kill a king. Or, wait, no, I think I have that wrong. Looks like you need to work on it too. Midoriya would say, as he does go to stand up. Now, he does tell Rogue that he'll be waiting for her, as he would walk out of the room. And he does just think about it. Life here on Sakaar actually isn't too bad. Sure, it's a challenge, but it's a way of living. Then again, now that he's thinking about it, all his life has really just been this. Fight, fight, fight. Then again, there's the other world. That's the challenge there, isn't it? Now, Midoriya does struggle with this, as over the next few months to year, you do have one simple thing: the destruction of the Red King's kingdom, and his eventual death. Now, with that, Sakaar would be freed, and this would have happened around 6 months later, where Midoriya knows the Hulk is marrying Kaira, the king's former bodyguard. Now, Midoriya was taken aback by this. That woman has almost murdered the Hulk, and she's beat the shit out of him on multiple occasions. So she is the perfect woman for him, since she can handle what he can dish out. Now, this would be where, eventually, the things would begin to align with the Planet Hulk canon. The world goes to peace, and the planet does start to become green. Now, we actually have Midoriya and Rogue, as in this time, Midoriya himself, he slowly began to get accustomed to the idea. He wants to fight everything, yes, but he has a reason to. With the way things are going with the capital city, it needs to be protected. It needs people to fight. And Midoriya's been out doing that. Anytime there's trouble near the capital or trouble in surrounding villages that are going to be coming to the capital or joining their ranks, Midoriya and Rogue would always go out in battle, along with Midoriya and the Warbound. Now, this has all been nice and fun, as Midoriya, he believes, if he does have the Earth calendar right, has turned 20 years old. Now, he does just wonder about everything, as we do have him today, as he's currently sitting around a campfire with some other members of the Warbound. And he does have Rogue, who is sitting on his lap. As Midoriya, he is eating an unknown creature, as everyone is swapping stories about their time on the planet. And Midoriya, he does mention that he fought this guy called the Silver Surfer, and how this guy's actually gone up against the Hulk. Now, Midoriya would reveal to them that he was holding back, because he did want to have a fun match to clear his head. However, that did have repercussions whenever the Red King limited him to his power. Now, everyone was surprised to hear this, and they did ask why Midoriya he didn't just try to disobey. Midoriya talking about how he tried, and he couldn't really even say anything about it, since the Red King also did swear him to silence, under the obedience disc. Now, Rogue would just say that that time is over, as she actually does turn around and go to face Midoriya. Midoriya being able to make out her face along the fire, as she does just talk about how this is home. Home. That word. It hasn't meant a lot to me in a while. A long time. Midoriya goes on stating, him hesitating, wondering, is this really what he should say? Are they ready? Are they at that point? Now, Rogue would just see Midoriya, as he's flustered. Her ask him what's wrong. To which he does talk about how if they should, bring other mutants here, settle down. The next few words Midoriya does bite on his tongue, as he does say Starday. Now, Rogue is confused whenever she does hear that first part. However, her mind does quickly piece together the second, as her face does turn red. Now, she does tell Midoriya that it's a bit too soon. However, she does have her fun, and that maybe one day. However, let's figure everything out first. Now, Midoriya he does understand, and Rogue actually would hug him. As Midoriya, he does just pull her in close, and just think, this is great. Everything I could ever ask for. No one hates me here. I'm loved. It's just so... I don't know how to put it into words. Now, there is the next morning, where everybody does wake up. And Midoriya, he does actually go to fly ahead. As both him and Rogue do so. They are going to head back to the capital city and see how things are going there. Since the night before they did have a big mission to take out a alien nest. Now, this was quite easy. And Rogue actually did gain some new abilities. Now, you do have Midoriya, who he is flying a bit faster than Rogue, asking her if she can keep up. Her actually popping wings out of her back and beginning to flap with them, as she does begin to gain more speed, telling Midoriya that of course she can, and to not underestimate her. Now, as the two are flying in, you do actually have Midoriya's enhanced hearing, as he does hear the same thing he heard on the spaceship whenever they did arrive on the planet. I'm sorry. Midoriya actually going to look up as he's confused, and he does actually go to stop, as there they are right outside the capital. And he does just look around. Rogue actually stopping next to him and asking him if he's okay. Huh. What is that? Now, Midoriya then does hear beeping, as his eyes go wide, and he does look down. Now, Midoriya is trying to look around. Where is that sound coming from? Where is it coming from? And then his eyes do go up to look at the spaceship. And he does actually go to try and move forwards to try and go and stop it. Wherever that sound is, it has to be on a timer. There has to be at least some time to save people. There has to... Boom. Now, Midoriya, he would see the flash, and watch as the explosion destroys the area around them, along with Rogue being knocked out of the air, as Midoriya, he's flung backwards from the shockwave. Now, Midoriya is able to gain his bearing, as he does go to look down at Rogue, her actually falling out of the sky because of the immense force that pushed her, and she's trying to level herself out. Midoriya going to fly in and go and get her. Now, Midoriya, he cuts it close, him throwing out his infinite tendrils and being able to wrap them around her as he just pull her in close to him. And the two do go rocketing into the planet. Now, this does catch both of them off guard, as Midoriya would get up and go to fly over. Him actually overhead of where the spaceship used to be, as he does go to land and look for survivors. Midoriya actually going to see the Hulk. Now, Midoriya, he does go to run up, as he does bring his hand up and tell the Hulk that he's sorry. He heard it, but he couldn't stop it. Now, he does tell the Hulk that everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to, as he would step around and see what the Hulk is holding. Now, Midoriya, he immediately knows how bad the situation just got, since the Hulk is holding his dead wife, who was carrying their infant son. Now, Midoriya, he would just drop on his knees and look up at the Hulk, as he does have tears rolling down his face. He knew Kaira, and she knew him. The two had respect for each other as warriors, and well, he was at their wedding. And Hulk even made him the godfather in case anything happened. But it's the Hulk. It's Kaira. Nothing would ever happen to them. But it did. Now, Midoriya would look up at the Hulk. As the Hulk, he does just look down. Before, he does slowly get up on his feet. and carry his wife away, as he would go to bury her. Now, this would be whenever over the course of the next few days, the Hulk does gather forces, along with the Warbound. Now, he does explain to all of them that the people who did this are all from Earth, and they planned to kill them. Now, he would turn to Izuku, looking down at him and ask him if he did hear Charles's message. To which he would just say, yes, he did. Now, Midoriya, he doesn't tell Rogue what Charles said. And Rogue, she does look concerned by this, since she does turn to see Midoriya, who he's grown longer black hair, along with the beard that has come in on his face. And you do actually have the scar on his nose and up towards his eye. As the look Midoriya has, it's the look of a warrior. Someone who is ready to fight for something and die for it. Now, Rogue does want to know what happened. Midoriya actually whispering into her head that they turned on us. And nothing more. Since Charles did tell Midoriya that he has a plan for mutant kind. He's going to make sure he helps them. He's going to make sure they are okay. However, Midoriya's involvement along with the powers of the Void, ever since he showed up, he's been a problem. The Phoenix was better than him. So, he's very sorry. Midoriya has to die, and he has to find the gauntlet once more. Then he can fix reality. Except Midoriya will not live to see it. That being where the explosion did happen. However, Midoriya was so focused on the beeping that was second priority. Now, we do have the Warbound. As the Hulk, he is getting things prepared. And Midoriya, he does ask the Hulk while he is currently forging a blade, if he would like him to scout ahead. I don't think that would be possible. Do you? I believe so. With my experience, I don't really need oxygen. The Hulk turning and looking at him. Ask him how he knows that. Midoriya talking about how he once went swimming and was able to hold himself underwater for 3 days. It was uncomfortable, but he didn't even take a single breath. And he wasn't even tired. Kid, you are full of surprises. Go up and check. Get your accomplice, your friend. She'll catch you if you fall. Now, the Hulk would just say those very last words. As Midoriya, he does go to float up into the air. And he does tell Rogue what's happening. Her asking Midoriya if he really does think this is what he needs to do. Yes, I do. They've killed one of us. Rogue, Charles tried to kill me. That bomb wasn't meant for the Hulk, it was meant for me. And he says that I'm the doomsday for us. But Midoriya getting angry. And Rogue watching as his face and arms, along with most of his entire body, does shift to the insect-like armor. Saying that he's going to go kill Charles. Now, this does surprise her, as she does just say to talk with him first, and then pass judgment. Now, Midoriya, he does nod his head, as the two do kiss before Midoriya does go to take flight, telling her that he really hopes this does work. Now, Midoriya does fly through the last layer of the atmosphere, and he does just think for a minute. So far, so good. As he does go up higher and higher, eventually getting past Sakaar's moon, and realizing that he'll be fine. As the last transmission he does send towards Sakaar is saying that he is okay, and that he is going now. As we do have Midoriya, who does fly straight through the black hole that sent them there. And then he does just begin to start flying straight. If he remembers correctly, they pass by this planet, or no, wait, it was this one? Midoriya getting a bit turned around, as you do have the 3 to 4 week journey he does take in space. Now, eventually Midoriya, he would find the Milky Way, as he does go through the asteroid belt and see a familiar planet. Now, the moment Midoriya does see these planets, he does just begin to think. They'll sense him if he comes through just normally. So he needs something. As he does sit on an asteroid and think, he's got plenty of objects that could enter the atmosphere that he could blend into. Now, Midoriya, he would divert a few large asteroids towards Earth. And he is careful. If they're too large, he does break them in half. And try to gather which one didn't fly away. And he does toss them in that direction, as he does just hitch a ride on one. As we do pick up with Sword, the opposite to Shield, which they monitor space threats, not earthbound like Shield. As they do pick up these objects that are currently headed their way. Now, as this is happening, we do have Midoriya, who he is actually on set course for the moon. And he does actually go to smash land on it, as he does get off the asteroid he was on, and begin to look around, before he does take a breath in. And Midoriya, he does go to grab his throat, thinking that he might be choking for a minute. Now, Midoriya does smell that too. What the hell? There's an atmosphere on the moon? As Midoriya does look around. Now, this is whenever a few people do come walking up and ask him what he is doing here. As Midoriya, he would just turn around and look at all of them, as they can see the power flowing from him, along with the black energy, along with the red and orange pouring from his eyes, as it just looks so sinister. Now, Midoriya would just say that he has no ill will or intent with them. However, since he is here, he is looking for Black Bolt the Inhuman. Now, the Inhumans obviously are not going to let this guy just waltz into their place and demand to talk to their king, as they do engage Midoriya. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.